So I got a request to explain the principle of lift in this episode, specifically Bernoullis Theory. Before we get into that though, I have a couple of things to cover that are channel related. First, I'd like to thank Cheshire for the new avatar. I'll link her Twitter in the description. It's awesome work and I really appreciate it. Much better than I could ever do. Second, you may have noticed my video on scientific terminology is gone. I deleted it for a couple of reasons. First one being the quality, or lack thereof, actually. You guys deserve better than staring at my horrible attempt at making an avatar for a few minutes. Second is because I rushed it, I left out some information that was directly relevant to that video. I plan on having a remake done by next week, and after that I will be doing one upload every 2 weeks to give me plenty of time to do the research, produce the video, and give you guys the quality you deserve. With that out of the way, welcome back. My name is Adam, and I'll be your guide to the science of lift today. Now, Bernoullis' theory is accurate enough for a basic understanding of the way aircraft fly, but is not entirely accurate. So, what is lift? Lift is an upward force that overcomes gravity to lift an aircraft upwards. The shape of the wing affects the amount of lift created as well as the angle to the air flowing above and below the wing. Lift is best described in two parts. We'll start with the pressure differential, which is what Bernoullis' theory focused on. Here we have a cross-section of a wing. What happens is that as the air hits the leading edge of the wing, it cuts through pretty much. The air moving over the top is forced to move faster than the air underneath. This creates an area of low pressure on top and higher pressure underneath. So what happens when the pressures on either side of the wing are changed? Well, an equalization of pressure has to happen to deal with this difference. That makes the higher pressure zone push the wing into the lower pressure area. You can see this in action by taking a piece of paper and folding an edge down, like shown here, and blowing across the top. You will see the paper rise as the pressures try to equalize. That's basically what's happening on an aircraft wing. The reason Bernoullis' theory is wrong, well, not entirely correct, is because it assumes an equal flow over the top of the wing and the bottom of the wing. Like the picture shows, each dot corresponds with one on the other side, and it's implied that those airflows will meet perfectly at the end of the wing. That is not the case, which is why his theory does pertain to pressure difference, but is not entirely accurate. But, like I said, lift is complicated, and it is in a couple of parts. The second part is involving Newtonian physics, specifically Newton's second law, that force equals mass times acceleration. Remember that gases like our atmosphere are treated like fluids in physics. Here's another cross-section of a wing. This one is shaped more appropriately and takes advantage of Newton's second law. As the air moves across the wing, the underside meets more resistance, like a water jet in a pool. This causes an equal and opposite reaction, pushing the wing up. The larger the surface area, the more that the air pushes against the wing underside. It's like putting your hand out the window of your car going down the road. By changing the angle of your hand in relation to the air, you can duplicate this effect. But what does Newton's second law have to do with this? Well, since we know that force equals mass times acceleration, we can show that an object like an airplane wing, the mass, and the acceleration produced by the thrust of the engines will impart a force on the air that the wing moves through. And since every action produces an equal and opposite reaction, there will be a return force applied to the wing, which is used to produce lift. These two forces, pressure difference from Bernoullis' theory and reactive force from Newtonian physics, combined are what produce the lift needed to keep planes in the air. In point of fact, modern wings are engineered so well that to deal with the lift generated at landing speed on large commercial airlines, spoilers automatically engage on the top side of the wing when the wheels make contact with the ground to disrupt the flow of air and keep the aircraft on the ground. Well, that's about it for the basics on lift. Like I said, Next episode will be a remake of scientific terminology. Like, subscribe, and comment on what you would like to see in future episodes, and I hope to see you soon.